This is Judith, and the Celestial team is right here, and I will tell you that the amount of energy I am feeling right now around me has my body physically shaking, because they're going to come through and talk to you about what an important time this is. In their words, we are preparing to cross the threshold. And they want to give some perspective on what that means, how to see it, and how to navigate through it. And I thank them very much for that. All right, here they come. Hello, beloved. Yes, we are here with you now, and we are a bit stirred up ourselves at the subject we're going to talk about, because indeed, this is a momentous moment of your time. You are about to cross a threshold, and right away, you think of winter solstice, do you not? Or your 12 and 21, 12. And that is a pinpoint in the time we're talking about. You might call it 0 point. It is the point in which you move from operating in ways that create and magnify separation into ways that create oneness. You see, negative energies are energies of separation. Positive energies are energies of inclusion. So, 0 point only means neutral point, the point in which you move from one to the other. And the state of being you are in when you move across 0 point is the state of being from which you will begin your journey into higher and higher frequencies, more expansion, and it will increase exponentially. So, that is an important moment. It is not that there's going to be catastrophes or huge dramas unless you decide to create them for yourself. No, this is an energetic moment, and it is very important. So, we're going to give you a little information about that to help your brains wrap around it so you know how to handle the very intense energies that you are in now. You recall that your summer solstice 2012 download was one of energies of love and connection, infusing you with remembering that all is made of love and all is connected. And your fall equinox, we spoke with you in our fall equinox video about this, that it was a time to begin to understand that because everything is love and connection, everything is interconnected. Right? Now, in preparing for your final solstice of the year, it is a time of integration. Integration is the most important work you can do. If you simply remember that word when you don't know what to do and do whatever feels integrating, you will be making an uplifting, transitional, transformative choice. So, what is integration exactly? How is it done? What does it mean? Okay. You have been operating in a world of duality, a perspective, a dimension of duality. You are at 0 point beginning to move a little more into a 5th dimensional frequency, right? 3rd dimension is very dense, and it is all duality. So integration means beginning to recognize and to consciously weave it all back together again. You see, you were here in duality for hundreds and hundreds of lifetimes to explore it, like scientists taking things apart to see what they're made of, to see all of the aspects. You now have all of the aspects, and they all seem separate to you, right? You all seem separate from one another. This is this, and that is that, and this is better, and that is worse, and that is what you've been doing, and for good reasons. You know all about what makes up everything now. You are going to be the masters of creation as a result. And more. You are going to bring the energy that it is going to take you to weave it together to your universe. And what kind of energy would be required to weave together and accept that which before you have pushed against or separated from? What kind of energy would move you to acceptance? The energy of compassion. That is the energy that you are going to use and bring to the universe. Now, we just took quite a leap there. How do you do that? Integration is based on acceptance of all that is, because you recognize that all is simply aspects of one whole. Certain people play out roles that you have judged in the past, but they did you a service. You didn't have to play them. They did it for you. You see, there's a reason. There's a divine connection between all things. So integration begins with accepting that. If you remember the color wheel that we are famous for talking about by now, we bring it up all the time. Acceptance means standing in the center and seeing all the colors around you and knowing that each one is needed to make up the whole, which is your divine white light, right? Acceptance of all that is. Once you move into that position of recognizing that's there, but you prefer that, but that is there, that is a choice, all are choices, then you are free. You can make a choice. Otherwise, you would be back in duality, which is either or, and resistance to one thing, fighting against it, or attachment to something else. The energy of resistance perpetuates what it is that's being resisted. The energy of resistance perpetuates duality. Fighting against something makes it more prominent, gives it energy. like Chinese handcuffs. You pull and it gets tighter. You give it the energy to do that, you see? So, if you want to continue to perpetuate the things that you do not prefer and create them with your focus on them and continue to live with them as your reflection, then by all means, continue to fight against the things you don't like. Refuse to recognize them as an aspect of you yourself. That's what you do. Otherwise, you note it. You note what it is that you don't prefer. It is valid. All choices are valid. And then you feel what you do prefer. And through focusing on what you do prefer, you will create that for yourself. It is that simple. There is no need for fighting against this or that. In fact, you actually know this with your inner knowing and use it all the time. It's just that your marvelous third dimensional brain has been programmed to help you with all the separation that you've been doing, categorizing and labeling and all that. But inside, you already know this. It's a matter of physics. We'll give you an example. If you're driving in your car at a blizzard on ice, icy roads, and all of a sudden you hit a patch of sheer ice, your car goes out of control. What do? Do you resist it? No, you'll resist yourself right into a more intense entanglement with the ice and have yourself an accident, won't you? You don't resist it. You become aware of it. You accept it. In other words, you allow yourself to move through that energy. And in that way, you get past it, right? Otherwise, you're stuck there with your car turned over. That's what we're talking about. If you are in a relationship with someone and they are behaving in ways that you do not prefer, shall we say, fighting against them enmeshes you into that relationship even more. You are full of the anger and the upset and the feelings of it, right? Oh, and when you do that, you are pulsing out those frequencies and creating more for yourself, right? Instead, if you note, the behavior that you don't prefer, focus on the behavior that you do, just accept that, you will move right through that, and either that person's behavior will change, or another person, they'll just wonder what happened to them. They will just fade out and someone else will fade in. You see? You are the creator. Your frequencies create your reality, and once you realize that, you realize that fear is obsolete. Fear is obsolete. We're going to leave you with that to digest and be right back in part 2 to continue with this important information for you, beloved, much loved Master. We'll be back.